Good morning. Welcome to Red River Card Adventures. This is Meet Up with Mason. I'm your host, Mason. Hey, okay. Today on the show, we have Charles the Clown. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Mason, and welcome to the morning news with Mason. Is that what we're doing? That's a very lovely table.
Yes.
My name is Charles. I'm, in fact, a clown in real life, in disguise right now, so you can't tell. I am from Clowns, Magicians, and More, and I think today, Mason, I'm going to put on my makeup so we can show everyone that clowns are just really goofy people.
Okay.
So, that's why I brought all my stuff, and I should start putting it on my face.
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
That sounds fair. What would you like to know, Mason?
All right, so how long have you been a clown?
In about 20 minutes, I'll be a clown for 30 seconds. But if the question is how long I've been doing this, I've been clowning around since I was 16, so 15 years. Oh man, I'm old.
So, why are you a clown?
Well, as a kid, I liked theater stuff, and I liked performing and being on stage, and it was fun. And then I met a clown minister, a clown that traveled Western Canada teaching in Sunday schools and Bible camps and stuff. And then the makeup all made sense to me, and I learned lots from him. He was like my first mentor. His name is Fester. He's in Edmonton, Alberta, I think. And it just sort of went from there, and I do not do ministry anymore, but I do love to perform and be a goof.
Have you traveled around the world as a clown?
I like to sell my bit as I have been all over Manitoba, from Emerson to Churchill. Although there were no polar bears when I was in Churchill. It's kind of disappointing. It was a really cool place, though. And I've also performed a bit in the States. And my biggest claim to fame was about 5 years ago. Me and about 20 other clowns got to perform in Dubai in the Middle East for an entire month. It was awesome and super weird, but pretty cool.
What kind of makeup do you use?
Well, there are many different kinds of clowns, and the makeup you can use is a lot of variation. But the makeup I use is grease paint, like theatrical makeup. And this is what they use in the circus, and a lot of hometown clowns that you will run into will generally use the grease paint stuff. There's a couple of different companies that make it. I use Ben Nye. There's like Myron. If you want to buy any of this stuff locally in Manitoba, my best suggestion is to go to Harlequin, which is in downtown Winnipeg.
Okay. So how old were you when you became a clown?
I was a little bit before I was 16. I've been a clown longer than I can drive. I've also been a clown longer than I've had kids, and other weird stuff like that, which is kind of fun.
All right, so
I was terrible at the beginning because everybody's horrible when they start doing something. That's what practice is for.
So how do you wash it off?
Well, it depends how we do it. When the makeup is all finished and on my face, it is usually set. Use a setting powder, or the old school method was to use baby powder, which is not really a thing anymore for reasons. But to take it off, it's because grease paint is a grease based. You need something grease to break it up again. So if you use baby oil or cooking oil, I don't suggest cooking oil. That is super gross and it hurts. Or you just like makeup remover works too.
Have you used?
And it breaks down.
Have you used
cooking oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used Crisco. It is super heavy and it hurts.
So,
good old canola oil. Usually I use baby oil. It's the easiest and cheapest way to go, since the makeup stuff tends to be more expensive.
How long have you
And now I'm just going to keep saying words because it's funny to me to interrupt you.
How long?
Sorry, you can go ahead now. You can ask another question. Anytime now. Go ahead. Sorry, Mason.
How long have you been a clown?
25 years. Yeah, 25 years.
Oh, yeah, I already said that.
I know. We did that first. 25 years.
How many birthday parties have you been to?
I don't know. I've been doing this for 25 years. Like 100 plus shows a year. I don't know. Like, I probably performed a few thousand times in this province.
So probably like 5,000.
But sure, let's pretend that's the number. I don't know. It's like asking me how many balloons I can make. I can make an infinite amount. I just have to figure out what it is you want me to make.
Okay, so what tips are what are tips on putting on makeup?
Tips for putting on makeup. Well, that's interesting. So the old school classic method of putting on clown makeup is you're supposed to start with the lightest color first, which, if you're paying attention, I have not done. I have a couple of faces that I put on. This is my oldest face, my classic face, my best face, the face that is most me. However, I've always put the colors on wrong because I usually start with the orangey skin stuff and then the white stuff, and then I do the black stuff, and then I do the red stuff, which is not the order you're supposed to do because you're supposed to go from the lightest color first up to the darkest color because it's easiest to cover up the light stuff with dark stuff to fix up mistakes.
Oh, okay. So.
And
so
otherwise, I'm patting everything in so it gets into the pores, and that helps even out the colors, so you don't have the weird stripy bits, or you don't have like streaks and stuff. And otherwise, it's just sort of time and patience. And if you mess it up, just do it again.
So you do the lighter colors first.
Yeah.
So.
I
would kind of think you do the darker colors so you can use the lighter colors to go over the...
Well, as far as layering goes, you really shouldn't put... anything right there. Oops. Like I was prepared. You shouldn't put colors on top of other colors because they don't mesh. If you put red on top of white, then it becomes pink. It's color wheel stuff. If you put something on top of black, it'll just be gross. So generally... As demonstration, as we're about to do my mouth, I big old mess with my mouth. Then I take a wet wipe and I shape it the way I want it to before I put the black on. We could also, I suppose, talk about, it's hard to do this and move my mouth at the same time, the kinds of clowns.
Yeah.
And the different makeup. The makeup I'm putting on today right now is tramp makeup or hobo makeup. Like he's a character clown, everyman. The everyman that everyone seems to know is Charlie Chaplin. Mr. Bean does not have this. They don't have the makeup, but like just the character styling. Charlie Chaplin, Mr. Bean, that sort of thing. The low status everyman that everybody else gets to poke at.
Do you know the history of clowns?
The history of clowns is super varied, but pretty cool. As far as clowns that we know in North America, it kind of dates back to the 1800s in Britain. Like the grandfather, effectively, of modern day clowning in Canada and North America is a dude by the name of Grimaldi in Great Britain. And interesting enough, there is a funeral service in a church in Britain every year for Grimaldi, because he's the grandfather of clowns, which is attended by clowns. So it's a really old church in the countryside somewhere in Britain, and all the pictures of it is it's like old classic old church pews filled with clowns, and they have like a whole thing for Grimaldi, which is kind of neat. And someday I'd like to go to it. But Grimaldi is like the grandfather of all clowns, and he had like a very white face with the classic features, and everything just sort of comes from that, which kind of, I guess, leads us into the kinds of clowns. The three basic sets, as it stands, is the character clown, the white face clown, and the Auguste clown. What we're doing today is the tramp is considered a character clown.
All right. So do you know like when the first ever clown was like, I guess, created? I guess. Like
Not really, because clowning has been used in so many places. So many cultures have some version of a clown, some version of a fool. Clowning, or at least I've been taught and or told in North American Aboriginal societies, is a pretty significant role. The fool, the jester, the character that sort of makes fun of the current events or other weird things that happen. Every society, almost every society, has that. We in North America, I'm going to talk like this because nobody's going to hear me. In North America, we are very influenced by our dominant European heritage. So a lot of what we think of as clowning dates back to like medieval jesters and commedia dell'arte, which is a character archetype thing from Italy, which is a huge clown influence stuff. But there are clowns all over the world, and they are not the same, which is really cool and fascinating.
So, have you ever been in a circus?
Not yet. One of the lines I always like to use is that I am a birthday clown that dreams of being in the circus. I have met circus clowns, and they are super awesome. In the end, I came to the realization, learning from these guys, because in any sort of hobby or profession or thing that you want to do, you want to go and find the experts and the dudes that know all the things, and go learn from them. So I have learned from circus guys, and I am definitely, my comedic leanings do lean towards variety arts, towards theater, towards vaudeville, like Marx Brothers and Charlie Chaplin and stuff. But in the end, you kind of take all the influences you can get from everybody. I have not yet been in the circus, but I would love to, because that would look cool.
So, what's your favorite thing about being a clown?
My favorite thing about being a clown is the people. Well, it's a couple of things. One of my favorite things is the best thing I think about being a clown is you get to do everything. Like the magicians, they do the magic. The jugglers, they do the juggling. The gymnast tumbler people, they do the gymnast tumbling things. The clown gets to try everything. He gets to mess it up because it's hilarious. But he gets to. That's why I juggle, I magic, I do tumbly stuff, I make balloons. There are clowns that face paint, that sing, that dance, that play music. There's a famous clown from Russia named Popov. And that's pretty much what he would say to anyone that all the young performers that wanted to be a clown. Spend a couple of years being the acrobats, a couple of years with the jugglers, a couple of years with these guys, with those guys, then you can try to be a clown. Because it's simple and yet it is complex. There's lots that can be done. It's very open. I like it.
So, have you done any stunts as a clown?
Sure. What are these stunts?
Like
jumping out of buildings?
No. Okay. So, like, you know, like probably one of the most famous stunts that clowns do is fit in a small car.
Yes. That was a bit that was created by Leon McBride, which I think is the only, who I've met. He is a super tall dude. He's cool. I think he's the only clown that has had a U.S. stamp with his face on it, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe Jackie Leclerc could have been would have been the other one, but I'm pretty sure it's just Leon McBride. He is now he is retired as a clown, and he is a Santa Claus because he's got a super beard, but he's hilarious.
So when did you retire?
What, from being a circus clown?
Yeah.
Probably when I started, I think, like in the 90s.
Really?
Because he's been like Santa Claus guy for 20, 30 years. He is old. He's part of the old school circus stuff.
So like, he's like 70 now, 80.
Sure, let's go with that.
Is there a difference between male and female clowns?
Again, I mean, there can be. It doesn't have to be. The face we have right now, the tramp face, the hobo face, they tend to be wear like more beat up stuff. But there have been lady clowns that have dressed up and put the beard on, and they look amazing, and they perform, and it's hilarious. There's no real restrictions. A lot of restrictions that people have, they put on themselves. If you open up your mind and try to like look beyond the limits and just work towards something, then the sky's the limit. You got nothing to stop you. All right, so we put on the beard. We put on the white. I have one color left.
So, why are people afraid of clowns?
Well, that, my friend, is a couple of reasons. The most basic of it is as far as kids go. Like kids under 3 can be afraid of clowns for the same reason that kids under 3 can be afraid of Santa Claus. It's a dude that looks different.
So, looks different by like
Like
in their family.
Yeah, like not in your family.
Like, cause you always see your mom and your dad, and if you have brothers or sisters.
Well, it's very similar. If your dad doesn't have a big beard and he's like a short dude, and then like the baby goes to like church or a gathering, and there's a 6.5 foot tall guy with a giant beard, the baby tends to be afraid of that guy because he does not look like the dad, so it's weird and different. Now, it does, as far as the fear of clowns, it is exaggerated because of a few factors. Our society likes to build on that fear of the other. So it's the fear of clowns, as far as our social norms go. Our society tells us to be afraid of clowns, so everybody likes to say that they're afraid of clowns. The comments that I get all the time is I am afraid of clowns, but I'm not afraid of you. So in the end, you meet a clown, it's a person, he's kind of fun. Yeah, he's fine. I don't know what I was afraid of.
So, is it hard to get into character?
I don't know, it can be. When I started performing, when I started clowning stuff, I liked the idea of the makeup, because the makeup was an instant character. I put the makeup on, I am the clown. I do the weird clowny stuff. Now that I've been a clown performer for 25 years, the makeup, as I am character. My clown is an exaggeration of me. The makeup doesn't make a difference, to be honest. You just put on a nose and or a hat and the clown off and goes. I walk around with this hair. Do you think I'm like pretending to be normal? No. That'd be goofy.
Can you explain each clown makeup?
Well, we'll explain each clown makeup, which also means we will explain each clown, I suppose. And it's kind of a hierarchy of thing. A lot of clowning, a lot of comedy comes from a status, like high status and low status. And low status characters are the ones that are like get picked on or are the butt of the jokes. And the high status characters are the ones that win. When clowns do skits with kids, the kids are the high status characters, or they should be. So the kid always wins, the clown always loses. It's kind of like the classic thing, like the big guy, the classic comedy duo thing, where the big guy always loses and the little guy always wins. Yeah. That sort of deal. Besides, you got to have the kid win, because the kids are cute.
Yeah.
Even you, Mason.
Is it hard to...
Oh, wait, I was going to talk about things, wasn't I? Oops, sorry. So there are 3 basic main clown things. White face. Those are the clowns. Those are classic clowns. Ronald McDonald's is a white face. They have mostly white with a little bit of color to accentuate like the lips and stuff. Then they are the high status. They are the ones that are usually all prim and proper and look cool. Then there is the Auguste is the second one. The Auguste has white, like very similar to what I have, where it's white over the eyes, white over the mouth, and then the rest is kind of the skinish color with a little bit of red, a little bit of black for accents. They tend to be more loud and boisterous. They're kind of the middle of the pack. They're the ones that like start the jokes, but usually they'll end up losing, depending on the status characters. Most clowns that you will see in the world right now are Auguste, because it is it's a lot simpler to do as a makeup, and it is tends to be a lot more approachable. The white face always has the problem with the white face is the white face kind of goes towards the uncanny valley territory because it obscures the features too much. But the Auguste face, because the point of having clown makeup is to exaggerate your features. So the way my mouth is set up, it's exaggerating my smile. So I can make it look like I'm all sad. And it exaggerates on my lips. I'm happy. And then it pumps up my cheekbones more. So it looks like I'm more smiley. Stuff like that. And then you have the characters, which are pretty much anything. You can be like the biker clown and the other weird clown and stuff like that. And hobo clowns or tramp clowns, happy clowns, tend to fall under that category.
So, is a hobo clown called a hobo clown because of the black around the, it looks like a beard?
Yeah, it is a beard. It's supposed to be a beard. Hobo clown, tramp clowns are distinctly North American, and it varies depending on who you try to talk to, but it comes out of like a Depression era. I believe it was, what I'm pretty sure it is about mid-1800s when there was a lot of work, and you had a lot of dudes riding rail cars from town to town trying to find some work to do, and the characters sort of came out of that. And one of the more famous hobo clowns in the early 1900s is Emmett Kelly, who was also a big name actor at some point too. And you kind of have two versions of it. You have like the hobo and the tramp, and then one is all super sad and mopey all the time, and has a very sad face drawn on their face. And then there's the ones that are kind of happy-go-lucky and work well with what they got. And I tend to be that one because I'm not very good at being all mopey all the time. And I don't find being mopey all the time terribly entertaining.
So, is it hard to be a clown?
Yes and no. Again, everything, as a magician friend loves to say, a 10-year-old can do anything I can do with 12 years of practice.
So
it's a matter of practice. It's a matter of time. And it's a matter of finding your character, your truth as a clown, as your character. In the end, there is a need for authenticity in performing, and especially as a clown. There is a certain level of bearing your own truth in front of an audience that is kind of involved in being a clown, a true proper clown.
Wait.
As I always like to say, being a clown is an exaggeration of the human spirit.
Oh, wait.
It's like it's a person, just more.
Wouldn't he be 22?
Who?
The 10-year-old boy. He'd be 10, but he needs 12 years of practice. So he'll be 22, which means he won't be 10.
Okay, so there's this thing about explaining a joke. It doesn't work. But I get your point. Yes, it takes practice. At some point, you're better. But you're always learning. So it's very important to always learn.
All right, so if someone wanted to be a clown, how would they do that as a professional?
Well, first you got to learn how to do your stuff. But I mean, there's lots of places you can advertise. There are local agencies such as Clowns, Magicians, and more, since they sent me here, that can help you find gigs and stuff. There is a clown alley that I run. There is a circus club that I run. And there are lots of people that can help you and teach you how to do things.
All right, so
It's a matter of practice and getting out there and doing it.
what is your favorite clown? What is your favorite clown?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Well, it's kind of interesting because my influences tend to be actor-type peoples, like the Marx Brothers, Charlie Chaplin, stuff like that. I do have a few favorite clowns, but mostly because I've met them and they're cool. As far as people that I haven't met, my most recent discoveries of clowns that I really like are Bill Irwin, who is a theater dude in New York City. He's also one of the Mr. Noodles on Elmo's World. He is amazing. And if you go back and find some of his old theater work, his physical comedy is just astounding. Charlie Fry is a dude that I just found his videos because he was like putting out a video a day during all the recent shenanigans. So this guy's amazing, and he was in Barnum and Bailey Ringling Brothers Circus in I think the early '80s, late '70s, and he's been a touring performer ever since. And he's awesome, and I would love to meet him and learn from him.
So does social media make clowns look bad?
Social media, social media is a tool. It's like saying the yellow pages makes you look bad. It's social media can make you look awesome if you use it right. I am on the Instagrams, the Facebooks, and the Tumblrs and all that, and I put up like balloon pictures and things, so they look cool. But what it is our society, like media and stuff, likes to think of clowns as scary or just lame. And to be honest, we are kind of lame, but it's fun. So it's just a matter of finding the right sources. If you want, I would be happy to show you cool clowns that I know that are awesome. And oh, there's brown stuff all over my face now. Jerk. Oh, well, that's okay. I like blending my stuff in the end. Whee. So I blend it in, so I got the red down here, and it blends into the orange stuff, and it looks cooler than just a straight up whatevers. And it always seems to be very important for clowns is the nose. And this is one of the noses I use, but it uses glue, and I'm lazy. I don't want to glue it on my face right now. But it is made out of rubber. It's really cool. It's the one I've been using the most lately. Got it from a good friend of mine named Iman Luzarazu, who is super awesome, and you should watch all of her videos. It's pretty cool. So it's the one I use for my other face. But today, we'll use it for this face. And this is a classic spongy nose, which I brought to give to you, so you have something on your face.
Sick.
And it does seem very important for most clowns to have a hat. So I have like 8 hats. So this is the one I brought today. But you have a hat too. And you can do weird things with hats. You can like put them down, put them back, balance them on your face. Maybe.
Doesn't work for me.
Why? Because yours is just a big mash of stuff. I didn't bring my entire costume, but I did bring my vest. So I would look slightly cooler. Although I slightly need a new vest. But this is the vest that goes with this face. And this is the face I've had for 20 years. Well, hilariously, when you search your first face, it often looks horrible. My first face was pretty bad. But this is the one that I've had the longest and I liked the most. And there you go. I have put on makeup. I have become a clown. And oddly, I don't sound much different because I'm weird to begin with.
You look good.
Why,
as
thank
a clown.
you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Charles, for coming. And thank you for everyone watching us and joining us today. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week as we will be joined by Mad Science again, which is about gravity, and it's going to be fun.
I thought you were going to rescue an alligator.
Oh, well.
Or no, wrestle an alligator. The week after?
Yeah, week after.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so bye.
Bye, everybody.